Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show, and welcome to another episode of, Holiday Shopping Ideas. So, I wanted to come on here because Atlas Stationers right now is having Black Friday sales, and I wanted to show you some of the things that they are having sales on. Also, I'm going to be showing you some of the things that I recommend that might not be on Atlas, but you can search for them on Google or wherever you shop for stationery things, and in hopes that you can find something for that stationary person in your life. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is, can I even show this? Yes, okay. Okay, so here we have the Atlas Stationers, a list of things that are going to be on sale. We have a Narwhal fountain pen, Anthens Violet, okay, like this is just, why isn't it opening? Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 13 13 specific items that they are doing discounts on. So you can get up to 20% off of these items. On my way thing. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at is the doorbusters. These are all of the doorbusters that you can check out. All you have to do is go up to the Black Friday Doorbusters tab on Atlas Stationers and click that, and it will show you all of the things that are on discount right now for Black Friday. Oh no, why didn't it? Oh my god, I hate when this happens. Oh, that's all that they say on all of them. Ugh, whatever. Anyway, we have some Esterbrook fountain pen sets, a Narwhal pen, Monteverde MP1s, which are like disposable, Delta Duna, a Laban 326, Benu Astro Gem, a couple of Benu pens, Conklins, Mayora, some ink, more ink, Visconti, Diplomat Viper, Diplomat Arrow, an Aurora, a couple of Auroras, some Platinum Bezo, Conklin Durgraph, More Conklin Durograph. Platinum 3776. Platinum Classic Makie. Platinum Azumo. Platinum Banu. Euphoria. Leonardo Memento Magico. These are some of my favorite pens. I have a Leonardo Memento Magico Esmeralda. It's my favorite, one of my favorite green pens. Definitely check them out if you're interested. We have an Edison, another Monteverde, I wonder if these, anyway, Conklin, more Conklin pens. Oh, more Delta DV, Delta Duna. More Delta Duna. Peniter, Avatar. Montegrappa. Regal, Year of the Dragon. Some Lamy pens. An St. Dupont. Montegrappa, a Mayora Nino. Let's see. Whoa, those are like half off, you guys. $900 down to $400. That's crazy. Mayora Nino, Pelikan Sovereign. Some people say Souverain, but I say Sovereign. $450 for $400. Y Studio Classics, a couple of those. Monteverde, Innova. We have a ballpoint pen, a roller ball pen. Delta Reservoir. We have a Neo Gallery Rollerball. Delta Magic 4. A couple of those. Conklin 1898. A Pelikan Sovereign. M600 for $350 is cheaper than the 400. Why is it cheaper than the 400? Oh my gosh. That's like half off. That's incredible. Pelikan Sovereign 670. What does the 6 and 7 mean? I've seen the 650, but the 70? What does that mean? Oh, black PVD coated things instead of silver or gold. Oh, I see. Okay. Here we have some zebra mild liners. These are really good for like highlighting things or making brightness come to your paper. They have click art. I have a whole bunch of those. I love them. Zebra, Monteverde. I think we're on the last page. Some Leblon Flora fountain pens that are nearly half off. Visconti, Nikola Tesla. Wow. Ooh, damn. That is a steep discount. A $7,000 pen down to a $4,000 pen. Wow, you better be going out of business at these prices. Delta Indigenous. Wow. Those are fancy looking. These, can't, there's no picture of them. It's a Delta Indigenous People rollerball. Anyway, well, those are all of the sales that are going on right now at Atlas, so go check those out. So now I'm going to talk to you about, what did I do with my, so now I'm going to talk to you about the things that I would consider to be a good gift for somebody. So, the first item on the list is a Pilot Kakuno. I don't have one inked up this week. I can't believe it. But I love my Pilot Kakunos. They're a great starter pen. If you have a person that likes stationery, but they're not into, they haven't gone down the rabbit hole yet, the Pilot Kakuno is probably the way to go. So, I would give it a medium nib, or maybe even a fine nib to start off with. But if they're, always going for the 0.3 nibs on the ballpoint pens, then get them extra fine. They will love the extra fine. It is so smooth and it's very stiff, so there's no give, so that way it doesn't scratch into the paper. It's really nice. Then there is the Jinhao 20. This is the Jinhao 20. I highly recommend this translucent version because it's really cool to look at all the parts in there. I want a clear demonstrator one though. The AdMock M400 or the M800. Here is one of the AdMock M400s. It's the same size as a Pelikan M200 size, or 400 or 600 size. And then I'm just going to show you them. So, here are my Pilot Kakunos. I've got a red one, a clear one. This is a 78G Plus, a green Kakuno, and another clear Kakuno, and a pink Kakuno. And then I highly recommend, the 78G. It's got a round section instead of a triangulated section. Or the Pilot Prera. This is probably one of my third favorite pens. It just has, the most satisfying closure I think I've ever used ever. The Pilot Vanishing Point is a bit expensive, so if you can't afford the Vanishing Point, I would try the Jinhao 10 or the Jinhao 20. So the difference between the 10 and the 20 is the width. So this one is thicker. It's about the exact same size as the Pilot, but this one's more about the size of the Demi. Either one of those or the Mahjong A2 or A1 series. Okay, so that's the Pilot out of the way. Then we have the AdMock. So the AdMock M400, M800. So here is the 400 compared to the 800, and you can see that the 800 is about the size of the 800 of the Pelikan M800. However, it's about $500 cheaper. So it's only about $50 for this pen, which is a very good price for this sort of a pen. Comes with a Schmidt nib. You can get them extra fine, medium, or broad. They're excellent pens. The only problem is that they don't have an ink window. But, if you hold it up to some light, you might be able to catch it. I know that with this one, I can kind of see the translucency in the barrel when I hold it up to the light. Hi, Adam. How are you doing today? So, if you go to Atlas Stationers, you can use code Miss Marilyn 10 at checkout. That they're all always linked in the description. As for the Blockbusters, I don't think that I could get much more discount, because they're selling $7,000 pens for $4,000, which is crazy. Okay, so then we have let's see. So here are the differences between the noodlers. The AdMock M400 and M800. The M800 takes a number 6 size nib, and the M400 takes a number 5 nib, but I managed to put a 5.5 Fountain Pen Revolution Ultraflex nib in this one, and it is most excellent. And they have the most beautiful chatoyant barrels. Like, they're just so beautiful. Highly recommend AliExpress checking them out. Oops, no, not that one. So this is a real Pelican M200, and this is a AdMock. So we can see that they are almost the exact same size, minus maybe 2 millimeters. So, yeah, there you go. Oh, this one's full of ink. Nope, that one's not full of ink. So, okay, next is the Noodler's Conrad. You guys know how much I'm a fan of my Noodler's Conrads. They come in a range of different colors, and if you look hard enough on eBay or, oops, even Goulet, I think, still sells the Conrad in certain colors. So, highly recommend them. They even come in these acrylic ones that are beautiful, crazy chatoyancy. So nice. If you are into vintage style flex, I highly recommend trying out the Noodler's Conrad with a Fountain Pen Revolution Ultra Flex nib on it. It makes probably one of the best flexible writing experiences, as long as you take your time and you take my class on YouTube. It's linked in the playlists, Introduction to Fountain Pen Calligraphy, or Fountain Pen Calligraphy 101. Check it out. The next inks that I highly recommend that you can put in almost any pen are Waterman inks. Diamine is kind of safe. The Jacobin, I can't remember what they're called. I just had it in my hand. These little bottle ones without the shimmer in them. So if you can find the ones with these little bottles that don't have any shimmer in it, they're pretty safe for most fountain pens. Yeah, I've got FPR Flex nibs on almost every single one of my Noodler's Conrads. And they're like 17 bucks a piece. Let's see, are they having doorbusters? Let's see. Let's look and see if we can find some nibs. So, number 6. Ultraflex nibs are $13 right now. And you can get a set of them . Do they do the sets anymore? Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm talking out of my hole. Let me see. No, they don't do the sets anymore. Well, that's too bad. They used to do sets of 3 for $45. But you can get one nib for $13.30 right now, and that's almost $7 off. So I highly recommend checking them out. They are well worth it. I just wish that they made their feeds Yovo compatible. If you want a Yovo compatible nib, you can go to fpnibs.com. Let me see. fpnibs.com, and then you can search in their nibs. Yes, I understand. Your store is closed right now. Their store is closed right now, but if you just hit the escape button, it will let you see the site. Okay, so if you go down to nibs and then Yovo and then number 6 or whatever size, and yes, you can get a nib. Let's see. If you get, oh come on, I know that you guys just sell feeds. Inks, accessories, tabs, converters, feeders. Okay, they're called feeders. I don't know why they call them ERS, but they sell Ebonite feeds that are Yovo compatible, and they have a super flow feed, which is like really nice if you have like a dry ink that does not want to cooperate. That I have 2 of them now, and I love them both. Additives. Let's talk about additives for just a second. So, if you're having a problem with an ink, I do not recommend that you rush directly to get the White Lightning. Okay, so oh, there you are. I forgot. I highly recommend checking out the Wearing Goal potion. The Wearing Goal potions, if you want to add some shimmer to your ink. And the one great thing about this shimmery stuff is that I don't know what it does to the ink, but it makes it flow so nicely. Whatever the liquid that they use just makes everything flow so nice. So if you have a stubborn ink, like a sailor ink that's too dry, maybe put a little bit of shimmer potion in it. Not necessarily the shimmer, but whatever the potion is that they have. Those go for about $20. Then if you're having a very stubborn time, never put the shimmer potion in a bottle or a sample. Just put it in the, sample out a little, however much the pen can take, and then put it in there. And then put it back in the pen. So that way, if you ruin whatever's in the pen, you could just throw it away. But if you ruin the bottle, however much that bottle was, I mean, like, I almost ruined a bottle of Lamy Dark Lilac. That would have been awful. So, just be careful. So, and the Venice White Lightning is so potent. All you need is to go down to your dollar store, get you a toothpick. Get you a toothpick. Dip the toothpick in the White Lightning, okay? Just dip it in there. That's all you need. stick this in the converter of your pen. Where can I do it? Okay, so I'm just going to use this for example. This is a piston pen. Say you have an ink that's not being very cooperative. Push the ink up to where it just meets the section, right? And then pull out your nib and feed, and then stick the toothpick in that hole, and then prime the feed so that way it touches that Van Ness White Lightning. Pull out the toothpick, retract the ink back into the pen, put your nib and feed back in. Okay, give it a small jostle, not like a big jostle. Do. Yeah, exactly. Too much White Lightning can make your pens explode diarrhea. It's not cute. But if you have one with nib feeds like this, it's not too bad because it'll catch it. But too much of the White Lightning, oh, I almost spilled it. That would have been educational. So don't use too much of it. This will probably last me the rest of my life and everyone else's life, so. Okay, the next thing that I can suggest, well, the first thing I can suggest is go get yourself a bottle of Noodler's Blue Ghost. I don't know what this liquid is made of, but it's less potent than this stuff. And if you have an issue where you think that you're going to be writing a check or something that, I don't know why people write checks anymore, but if you're like signing something like important, you can put like a couple of drops in whatever you're writing with, and it will make it so that if someone decides to try and undo the ink, the blue ghost will stay behind. So, and then this also makes like a good liquefying tool. Like if you're having a stubborn ink, this is the first thing that I turn to before I turn to the White Lightning. So, and you can put, if you have like an ink like the Diamine, the last day of the Diamine inks are always so dark. They're so dark, why? They're basically black. So you can use Noodler's Blue Ghost in a sample and lighten it up. You can use like 4 mils to a mil and it will lighten it up significantly. Hi Alex, how are you doing today? Okay. Moving on to paper. What paper do I recommend? CVS Caliber filler paper. I highly recommend it. It barely even bleeds or ghosts. And you can get it in a composition book like this. Just make sure that it's circa 23 and is made in Vietnam. This is excellent stuff. Highly recommend it. They also come in filler paper. They have wide rule, college rule, and grid. Their printer paper is terrible, so don't get the white printer paper. It's not great. And their envelopes are not great. But their index cards, their 3x5 cards are pretty good. And, yeah. So then, the next one that I would recommend is the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree makes A6-ish size jot journals, and they look like this. And these are sticker packs. You can put the little stickers all over your notebook. Okay, and these are most excellent too. They barely bleed or ghost, and they come in a lot of different types of cute designs. This one has pink paper, but I think they have blue paper and blue lines and red lines. So definitely check these out if you have maybe a person in your life that doesn't want a giant book to take around, but they might want to have something small. This one is circa, I don't know where the circa is. This one's made in India. Do we have a circa? No, we don't have a circa. I don't know when these were made. Anyway, there you go. Does this one say circa? No, they don't say circa. Anyway, but these are excellent notebooks. Okay, the next one is the next one is Leuchtturm 1917 120 GSM notebook paper. I highly recommend this stuff. I've been reviewing it for a couple of months, and I just got some affiliate credit, so thank you to everyone who keeps using the code. When you guys spend money on stuff from Atlas Stationers, I get a little kickback, and what I do is when I have enough money to buy like a pen or paper or something, I put it towards something that will make my life better. So that way I can hopefully encourage you guys to do the same. So I've already bought myself a Leuchtturm 120 GSM from Atlas Stationers. It should be here on the 10th. I'm very excited. I can't wait. And then the last but the best is probably Archer and Olive 160 GSM notebook paper. These people do a really great job. Oops. Archer and Olive. It's archerandolive.com, and they have just really excellent notebooks. You can watercolor in these books, you can paint and use fountain pens with super flexible nibs, and it won't bleed through. And right now, I think that they're doing like a 15% off if you wait a couple of seconds before you go onto the site. One of these will pop up. You put your email address in, you click continue, and then you put your phone number in, and you can use that, so that way you can get up to 20% off. And these are the most beautiful books. They are just fantastic with the designs. I don't even know how they do it, but like, their notebook paper is just awesome. So much so that I will be using one of these as my bullet journal this year. Actually, this is the exact one that I will be using as my bullet journal. Where did it go? I clicked on you. Ugh! Oh man, there it is. So this is a very large book. It's called The Journal. Oh, for bugger sakes. It's called The Journal, an heirloom notebook. It's $45. It's got 160 pages at 160 GSM notebook paper. It doesn't say. Anyway, this is what I'm going to be using as my bullet journal next year. So that's very exciting. Ow, I stabbed myself with a fucking nib. Sorry. Stupid nib. Reaching for stuff. Anyway, go and check out their notebooks. They have some really cute designs that I highly recommend checking out. Okay, next we have the Midori MD notebook. Or do I have one available next to me? So, the Midori notebooks come in A6. They also come in the Traveler's Notebook. And I highly recommend those. They are most excellent. I barely get any bleed through. Lots of ghosting, but minimal amount of bleed through. So, I highly recommend checking these out. Excellent notebooks. Okay, accessories. Let's talk about accessories for a minute. First accessory are pen cases. So, you can go on Amazon and you can get one of these 48 pen cases for like $20. This is probably one of the best treats that you can give someone because they last a long time. Maybe not super long, but like they last a long time, and they hold, and they're nice. They've got a handle. Some of them have a handle, and they have a nice zipper, so that way you can close them up. So that way you don't have to worry if they're gonna fall out. They're just a really nice addition to your fountain pen repertoire. This one is very old. No, this one is my newer one. Huh. Sorry, just kidding. This one is very old, and the loops are kind of falling apart, but she still works, and so we keep her until she dies. And I will keep a folder even if one pen is in there. So, okay, so what's next? We have silicone grease. Where is my silicone grease? I know you're here somewhere. Out of my way. Oh gosh. Oh, there you are. Pardon my bald spot. Here is some silicone grease. You can get this from Goulet pens. You don't need a whole lot of grease, but I get like 2 of these at a time, and they last me for years because I don't use very much. I have a little tiny. Let me see if I can show you the brush that I use. So I got a set of brushes like this from Walmart, and this is a Delta 2 flat, and I just leave that up like this over at my station, and then when I need to use the silicone grease, I break out the silicone grease, and I break out my brush, gather a little bit of silicone grease on this brush, and then I brush it onto the nib or wherever I need it. Onto the nib, onto the grip section or the piston or wherever you need it. Don't put it on the nib. I'm just trying to think of too many things all at once. And make sure it's silicone grease and not silicone oil, because silicone oil is good for metal on metal, but not necessarily if you have a metal piston, it needs titanium grease. So you might look up titanium grease too. Another good thing to have are sample vials. You can get like 10 of these sample vials from Goulet Pens for like $3 or $4. Let me see. But try and buy them from Goulet. I know I'm supposed to be promoting Atlas, but they don't sell ink vials. At least I don't think so. I am an equal opportunity person. Accessories. So these are Goulet empty ink sample vials. There are 10 of them for $4.75, which is a pretty good deal. I usually get about 3 at a time, and that gives me 30 of them. So I highly recommend them. Vial labels. Okay, so let's talk about my dear friend Brenda. My dear friend Brenda at the Dormouse's desk. She sells vial sample labels. She has toppers. And she also sells the label on the side of the ink vial and the topper. So I highly recommend her, because these are made of some sort of photo paper, and they take the ink really well, and they're repositionable. So if you put the sample on the top of your ink. Let's just do an example, because I don't have a topper for this. What are you doing over here? Go away. So I have this here thing, and I want to use a topper. I'm going to get out my little ink muddler. I use it to fill that. And I'm going to use a piece of toilet paper to take off the excess. And then I'm going to use a sharp tool like needle nose tweezers. And you can pick these off with your fingernail, but I don't have very good fingernails right now. Now see how I made that so it's kind of off kilter? If you just find the peel up of the side, you can peel it right up and reposition it exactly where you want it. Really nice, huh? And look at that sparkle. Ooh, it's so sparkly. And it shows almost the exact color. It's very, very, very close. It darkens it just a little bit. But it shows almost the exact color of the ink. Oh, look at that sparkly. Sorry, I got distracted. So, highly recommend the Dormouse's Desk. She's on Etsy, so if you search the Dormouse's Desk or ink sample vial labels, you should be able to find her. Okay, what is next on the list? Ink sample holders. So, these are some of my favorite tools to use because they come in such a cute array and assortment of different types of ink sample vial holders. And they don't hold just samples. You can put a sample in there. You can put a brush in there, or you can put some tools. Like, you can put almost anything in these things. This one holds my rubbing alcohol, so like, yeah, you can do all kinds of things with these things. So these are toothbrush holders from Daiso, so I highly recommend checking those out. If you are planning on doing the Diamine Inkvent calendar, I highly recommend using, this is called an Ink Buddy. This is from Doug Rathbun's son. He runs a company called Allied Armor. Allied Armors? R-M-O-R-S. Oh, crap. Anyway, I'm gonna have to find a link. Please stand by. Oh, God. Okay. Pens. Oh, for God's sake. I have too many links. That's what's happening. So if you go to Inquiring Minds, Let me see if I can find... I'm gonna ask Doug right now. I'm gonna be like, hey, how do I get a hold of your son to make a... So I will try and remember to put all of these links in the description after I'm done, because I didn't make a list of things. But they make a 30 ml bottle, they make a 15 ml bottle for the Diamine Inkjet calendar. He also makes like a tray that holds all of the ink. It's a really good deal. And like every year I use these for the Diamine. So they sit on my desk, waiting for me to use them in December. Okay, so then we have files, ink sample holder, clip weight. I have no idea what I meant by that. Ink Miser. So, this is kind of a cheap version of an Ink Miser, but this used to go inside of a bottle. Usually they've got like straight sides for the Ink Miser. They're mainly to fill pens that only have just a little bit of ink in them. I highly recommend getting them an Ink Miser, so that way they can fill from a small amount of ink. The second thing that I recommend is the 3 ml ink syringe. So you can buy these on Amazon. They're 3 ml syringes, and then these are 24. No, these are either 16 or 18 gauge. 18. $14. Okay, these are 14 gauge. The green ones are the 14 gauge. I highly recommend them. You can get a whole bunch of them on Wish.com. You could probably get them on Amazon too. You could get a 3-pack of 20 ml, which is kind of a lot, for $6 on Amazon. 2 inches. 2 inches. 2-inch blunt needle. Okay, so here we go. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so here we have these are blunt tip dispensing needles, 2 inches, 25 pieces for $6. These are 14 gauge. They also come in like 15, 16. The higher the number, the smaller they are. So just remember that. But I recommend the 14 because you can basically suck anything up with that. Okie dokie. Okay, so pipettes. I highly recommend these glass pipettes. You can find these at the pharmacy. Those are great for mixing ink. You can also get a 1 milliliter syringe, which has 0.10 increments. And they have this weird plastic needle thing. You can get those. Or you can get a pipette. These are plastic pipettes. You can get them in like the science section. And you can get like a whole bag of them for like $4. Tube cleaners. Okay, so I got a whole bag of tube cleaners for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. So I highly recommend if you have a fountain pen friend in your life, get you a bag of tube cleaners, okay? You can use it to clean out your cartridge converters, you can use it to clean out your pistons, you can use them to clean out pretty much anything. So if I'm cleaning out, say, this pen here, I'm going to use a bright yellow one. So I will bend it in half. Pull out the nib feed. I'll bend it in half, or like maybe 3/4. It's just so that it barely fits inside of the tube. And use that to get stubborn ink out of your nib, out of your pen. Highly recommend. So if you're going to clean your pens, which if you have a pen, you should probably clean your pen every once in a while. I mean, I'm crazy. I clean mine every time, but like I also maintenance them every time. And I'm not worried about breaking pens because I could just buy a new one. But if you want to take care of your pens, I highly recommend that too. You can also get a rubberized grip section if you don't feel like a piece of rubber to pull the nib and the feed if you don't feel comfortable doing it with your hand. You can also go to the Dollar Tree and get these. These are like grips for opening jars and stuff. This is really good for pulling nib feeds too. Dawn dish soap. I highly recommend using Dawn dish soap to wash your pens if you have a stubborn ink. The clear Dawn dish soap, not the blue one. The blue one might stain your pen, but the clear one works really good and it smells nice. It doesn't smell like harsh chemicals like the other ones. If you are having a problem, so one note about the Dawn dish soap. Don't put the Dawn dish soap in a piston pen and then run the piston. Okay, don't do that. Take the piston out, then use the Dawn dish soap, re-grease the piston, and then stick the piston in and run it up and down a couple of times. Because if you put the Dawn dish soap in a piston pen and you run it up and down, it will wear out the silicone and it will seize your pen and you will be and it will be dead. So be careful. So piston out, Dawn dish soap, re-grease piston, then stick it in. Washi tape. We all need some sort of washi tape if we have pen friends. So, I highly recommend going to Hobby Lobby. Down in their washi tape section, they usually in the back have these long tubes with all of the different holidays worth of washi in one tube. It's like $20, but is worth it if you use it all year long. So this is one of the starting of the Christmas ones for me. I love using their washi. It's good. It might need a little fastening at the end with some regular tape, but I think it sticks well. I haven't heard any complaints, so it's good stuff. Stamps. Stamps are another really good way to increase productivity and enjoyment with the fountain pen hobby. These are, I got these on Wish.com. They're just the weekly with some weather down at the bottom. I think they're super cute. I also got this a stamp set. It had one of each of the months. Highly recommend this stamp set. It has one of each of the types of months. No? Yes. If you like using stamps, this is definitely a winner. And like you can use these with any type of stamp. And the blocks are sold separate. I got these from Hobby Lobby. What is coming up in December? When does December start? It's a Sunday start. Sunday, so Monday starts Monday. And then you can even do a Saturday start or a Monday start. They have a Monday start. And they also have a Sunday start. So that's great. They also have a clock. The numbers aren't very good on the clock, but at least you can kind of tell where they are. And they have, I should just show you the back, huh? So I'm going to turn this off so we can see. But it's got the months, it's got this like monthly, it's got this weekly looking thing. And then each day that the week starts, so it's got like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday start. And then it has something up at the top. I don't know what that says. This week in This Week in Review. So there you go, and there's the clock. It's not a very good clock. And then it has this. I have no idea what that is. Does anybody know what that is? It looks like a cannonball thing. Or like a sleeping cat. I don't know. Anyway. Not a clue. Okay, so that's all of that. So then you can go to like Hobby Lobby and you can get stamps like this is a bat stamp. This one says happy birthday. This one here says trick or treat. So there's all kind of stamps, and there's like a multitude of different types of inks that you can get with these stamps. I've even used them with fountain pen ink. So I highly recommend them. There's another one of my favorite stamps. I keep this one out because I'm always writing letters. Okay. I even have my address stamp. I have an address stamp, and I made this one. It says January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it has the weather at the bottom. So the month, the day, and the weather. I thought that was pretty cool. Then I could just stamp it on and circle the one that it is. And I got most of those from Wish.com, and then I got some from the OC Pen Club members. So thank you if you gifted me a stamp. I really like stamps. I just don't use them very often because I only have black ink. And like I have an entire bottle of the stuff, so I'm trying to use it up as much as possible. Hi, Francie's mom. How are you doing today? Did you give me the stamp? Somebody gave me a stamp. Okay, stamps. So, the other type of stamps that you could give somebody are postage stamps. These are a wonderful gift if you know somebody that is a pen pal to somebody. You can get the international stamps or the regular stamps. And at this time, they're coming out with the Christmas stamps. So, you better believe on Monday I'm going down to get me some Christmas stamps. Happy Friday. I almost said Happy Friday the 13th. It would almost be the same. Uh-oh, Dad, my friend's calling me. I'll be right back. Just 2 shakes. My roommate was asking me if I wanted to go to the store. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is glue and glue sticks. this is probably one of the best glues that I have ever used. It's like got the right amount of stick and the right amount of like not tacky, like not sticky to yourself, and it smells nice. I mean, it doesn't smell great, but it doesn't smell like chemicals like Gorilla Glue. Oh, that stuff smells awful. The other type of tape I recommend is this here, Scotch roller tape. This stuff is great if you're doing like, what do they call it, where they put all the images on the page? Collaging. If you're doing like collaging, or you're making like a Christmas card and you want to have multiple levels on a Christmas card, this is definitely a great way to do it quickly. How about, I'm doing good. No, it wasn't me. Like, if you just some Van Diemen's ink. Oh yes, I like those Van Diemen's ink. I especially like the January. Or was it the Christmas? Anyway, the yellow sparkly one. That's my favorite. Toothpicks. So, toothpicks for the Van Ness White Lightning. Highly recommend those. You can get those from the dollar store or your local food store, grocery market. The next is scissors. I'm getting sticky all over. This is my stupid brush. I'm going to put you back over here where you belong. Oh, God. Ooh, I hate sticky things. What was I gonna get? I was reaching. Scissors. Okay, scissors. I highly recommend. These are from Fiskars. And they're just like super little. How big are these? These are 4 inches long, 4 and a bit inches long, 4.5 inches long. And these are really good for just like doing really small crafts. I highly recommend them. I know that they have this size full metal, but they're like super expensive. So, okay, scissors, construction paper. Okay, so what did I do with the construction paper? Here it is. So, this here is a 3-in-1 activity pad. You can get other ones, but this one is almost the perfect size for an A5 notebook. And I use it for blotting paper. Blotting paper absorbs ink when you put it in a book. And then you want to close the book. Or if you're writing from one page and you want to flip the page so you can continue your thought without having to worry if it's going to touch the page before. So, I bought they come in multiple sizes. This one just happens to be A5 size. You could just stick that in there. Or you can get the full size. And then I get the plastic cutting boards. These are just, silicone plastic cutting boards from the Dollar Tree. And then I wrap that around there so that way if I do want to I can stick that in there, or I can stick it behind the notebook, and I can have a more firmer surface to write on. This is with Hobonichi, of course, or like any Tomoe River. Can't see, sorry. So, very good idea for, and they come in like multiple colors. There's a tan one, red, blue, green, blue, tan, lots of tan, green, pink, blue, pink, green, blue. Anyway, so you can get them in all kinds of colors. I know that for a fact. Okay. So I highly recommend those two things. Okay. Flexible cutting mat for putting is like a pencil board. Why would I have a pencil board from Hobonichi? It's like the crappiest piece of plastic I ever used in my life. Go down to Dollar Tree and get you a large, like A3 size plastic cutting mat, those rubberized cutting mat, and then just cut it down with some scissors. Hi Caesar, how are you doing today? And then the last thing is a nail file tool. So these come in like a set of 12. You can get them on Amazon. And these have 7 steps. And I use these for smoothing out my nibs. Now you would never start on the 1, the 2, or the 3. But if you had like if you get a loop and then look at the tines of the nib through the loop, like this, and if you can see that it's off, like they're not even with each other, or the nib is like twisted one way or the other, then you can use... Oh gosh, I don't have one here. Oh, man. I have some like pliers that I use that you can put some... You don't want to use the pliers directly on your nibs because that'll make them ouch. So you might use some toilet paper or some like construction paper over it, and then use the pliers just to like bend it just like this much, you know, not a lot. And then as soon as you see that they're absolutely straight and they're not like this or like this or like this or like this, so as long as they're right straight up and down, you know, so no, not like this, no, not like this. And sometimes you'll find that there's one that just has like a little tiny burr. One side will have a little tiny burr, and so you want to like turn it upside down, push it down so it's absolutely flat. Make sure that the top side is flat. And then what you can do is you can do like 1, 2, 3, and then check. Okay, and then do like 1, 2, 3, and then check. And then you go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, and then check. And then you get all the way up to this fine polish. You do 1, 2, 3, and then check. Okay, so don't get excited if you're trying to manipulate your nibs. This also is a way to void your warranty, so don't do what I say. Just unless you're down with voiding your warranty. And then what you can do is you can go and eat a cereal or an ice cream sandwich, And you can use this as super fine micro mesh. And I just run mine back and forth really fast. And it's gonna spatter, but I'm not putting any pressure. I'm not putting any pressure. I'm just going back and forth really fast. And that will smooth out the nib, so that way, when you... Oh yeah, that's nice and smooth now. So, highly recommend using the inside of a cardboard tube, like a box, of like cereal. They are perfect for smoothing out nibs. Okay. What else? If you want, I recommend the Dominant Industry Ink Muddler. You can use the nib side to write with a glass tip nib, and you can use the other side to do a swash. So that's a good one. What else? Ink sample vials, silicone grease. What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Ink cuddles. What's that? Ink? Oh. Ink muddler. I was like, oh, I want ink cuddles too. Whatever you do, do not use one of these to smooth your nibs out with, unless it's completely smooth. This one I've had for about 8 years now, and it is so smooth that I can't even see any of the previous indentations that were on it. But that's also because I scraped them off with another tool, and then I went through all of the micro meshes, all of the meshes, and made it super smooth. And it's basically to tell me if I have any burrs on a nib. So if I have, no, this is too smooth. If I have a pen, we'll say this one. If I have a pen and I use it very lightly, oh, this is actually pretty smooth. And I just do little circle 8s, back and forth, no pressure. And I do it, angle it a little higher. And you'll be able to tell if you have a little burr, because it'll start to catch going one way. And if that's the case, then you need to go back to the smoothest one and just 1, 2, 3, the way that it's burring. Then you could look through your loop, make sure that it's not wonky. I mean, it might look a little wonky, but it should be nice and smooth. Mine's got a little more tipping on it than I would like, but you can smooth that down too if you want. Toothpicks. If you have a person in your life that uses rulers, I highly recommend getting yourself one of these copper rulers. These are like for the Hobonichi. They have like squares, circles, they've got all kinds of designs in them. And then over here on the edge, they have lines for 5mm and 7mm. So between there and there is 5 millimeters, and between there and there is 7 millimeters. So you can do like an X height and a baseline, or an X height and a descender. These are just really cool. They've got all kinds of them. They've got ones with different shapes. The reason that I got this one is for the weather. And it also has like it has like a pen on it. I thought that was cool. It's got like travel, idea, heart, star. It's just really nice. And it can make for a really cool page holder clip. So that way you can find your page really easily. What y'all think about that? Pretty cool, huh? Another thing that I would recommend are these sticky note minis. These are really good for using on your Hobonichi, because they're just big enough that you can write 1 or 2 words with like a Muji pen or like a superfine Pilot Kakuno. And that way you can have a note that you can tear off, and they come on a rainbow assortment of colors, which is nice. The other thing I would recommend is Post-it notes. I highly recommend Post-it notes. I have them like everywhere. Everywhere I have Post-it notes. So if you try, I'm trying to give you guys ideas for Christmas gifts for your friends. What else? Something other than fountain pens. You could get them some ink or some micro mesh. If you are shopping for a calligrapher in your life, I recommend like maybe a staff or a dip nib holder. This one just happens to be a wood nib holder. You could get them a set of nibs, and they come in all kinds of different shapes. You could get them a Kakamori dip nib or a nib holder. They have cork ones. Or this is a Tachikawa. This is for the G flavored nibs. They even have acrylic nib holders that are beautiful and chatoyant. This is an Osprey. You could get them an ink muddler, or this is a stir stick for doing like ink sampling. You can get them a broad edge for doing swatching with. What else? If you know someone that's into art, you could get them a water brush. I don't know where my art kit is. I haven't used art in so long. Anyway, you could get them a mini paint pad. Those are really popular nowadays for people to do plein air. Welcome back. Gosh, what else do I use? Oh, you could get them one of these mats These mats are really nice. One side has inches, the other side has millimeters. So I highly recommend getting them a mat, or you can get them a desk mat. These desk mats are really nice, and I just realized how dirty mine is. So dirty. I don't even go under there. You could get them some of these rags. Some of these are like face cloths that are really cheap from the 99-cent store. They make great for washing pens, having something nice to put their pens on. You could get them some whiteout. Whiteout is often used for people who make mistakes. I barely even use my whiteout. No, I'm just kidding. I use it all the time. What am I talking about? You could get them a date stamp. They come in different kinds. This one's like a push to put the date on there. This one you have to have a separate pad, but get them a date stamp. Oh, or if you have somebody that likes to use Noodler's Blue Ghost, you could get them a black light. They come in a set of like 5 on Amazon. 5 or maybe 10. And they're just little black lights so that you can read whenever you're using Blue Ghost on. You can get these little pots. These are 5-piece 2-milliliter silicone wax container jar, random color. Anyway, these are made of silicone. I use these for mixing ink in when I'm doing calligraphy for a client. If they have like a specific color, I will mix it in, and then these are soft enough. These are soft and squishy enough that if I have a nib, a steel nib, and I don't want to like bang it on the bottom of a jar all the time, these are great because they're silicone and they're like squishy, so you're not going to hurt the tip of your nib. Highly recommend these. Plus they come in really cool colors. Very Bob Marley-esque. If your friends are into fountain pens, you could get them some Click or Zebra Mildliner sets. These are really nice for if you want to do like a bullet journal setup. I use these all the time when I had my bullet journal, so highly recommend some of these. Oh. So here's how big the cutting mats are from the Dollar Tree. So you can cut these down to make 2 A5 size page markers. If your friend's also not into fountain pens, I got those on Amazon. If you just search silicone pots, you should find them. If your friend's not into fountain pens, what are you doing with their life? Like, you can get them some jelly rolls. Jelly rolls are very popular. If not jelly rolls, I recommend the Pentel Sparkle Pop. You can use these on Christmas cards, and they just really pop. So, those are excellent. Also, you can get yourself some Tombow Furunosuke or Pentel Touch Sign Brush pens. You can get some magic pencils. I bought like a 5-pack of these Hardmuth, Koh-i-Noor Hardmuth magic pencils. And I love them. They make great for making like cards and stuff. If you have a teacher that uses a whiteboard, they make these Pentel Knuckle.
This is a reminder. 2 p.m.
Knuckle pens. This is a brush pen that goes on a whiteboard. So cool. I love this. Or if you're trying to get somebody into fountain pens, you can buy like a pack of these things for like $10, and they come with like 20 of these pre-filled fountain pens. That's a really great way to get somebody into like ink and color and stuff, so give those a try. Oh, I'm running over things. If your friend is into calligraphy, but they're not they're more of a digital person, I recommend getting them an iPad. Because this is probably one of my favorite pieces of technology. Like, besides my Windows computer and my cell phone, this is probably my third favorite tool to use. I can make all kinds of stuff. Where's some of the stuff that I made? You can make rainbow things, or you can turn things that are, I have made so this is my pen friend writing letters paper. This is just CVS caliber filler paper, and then I found this image on Pinterest, and then I resized it so that it would fit my paper. And I made a whole bunch of cute little designs so that it would fit my CVS caliber filler paper. And I just printed it right on the paper. So, let's see. I did this for Cinco de Mayo. For the May the 4th be with you. I made this Christmas card last year. This is from many years ago. But, like, you can make all kinds of stuff on this thing. And, like, make it for however you need it. And you can print these things. So, I highly recommend getting an iPad. If you're an artistic person, you definitely need an iPad. I've made calendars. I didn't make the background, but I just wrote the letter, the numbers. I found these images on Pinterest, by the way, in case anybody's interested in the images. But that you can find all kinds of things. this is going to be my keep moving forward for next year. So this is going to be the Dragon Within You book, but it's going to be keep moving forward next year. So, okay, anyway. And then the Apple Pencil. Don't forget the Apple Pencil. Otherwise, it's just a tablet, and we have phones. So, gosh, what else? Oh, Caesar, are you still here? So our friend Caesar Chavarria won this fountain pen. So it doesn't come with a nib or a converter, but you can put a Bach number 250 nib unit in there and a Schmidt K converter. So I will be sending this out next week. I hope that you enjoy the pen. I hope that you can get it to work for you. And it's very large, but I will get around to getting that done as soon as I can. What else? Something that I don't use very often, that I very much enjoy, is this. This is a calibration slide. What is a calibration slide? Calibration slide has... how can I show you this? Calibration slide has these marks on it, and it shows you how big something is. So what you can do is you can hover the slide over this, and can I zoom in enough? That is the question. Oh, that's as far as it goes. Anyway, we can see tenths or hundredths of a millimeter. This is 1 centimeter. This here's 1 centimeter, and each one of those dots is 0.1 of a millimeter. So I use my loop on the 60, and then I look through it with my little eyeball, and I can see exactly how thick a line is. I don't know why anybody would want to see that close, but if you're curious, like me, that's a perfectly nice tool to have. Another really nice tool to have is a pen clip. I think this one came from Travelers Company. So yeah, they have nice clips. You can put the clip through it. I don't think you can fit anything in there. That's kind of their downfall, but it does fit a clip perfectly fine. So you can put that on a notebook. If you have a friend that's into sending stuff, I highly recommend them getting some posting tape, because you never know when you're going to need some tape. You can get them a pen stand. The pen stand that my friend made for me. Thank you so much. This is a cool little tool. This is a cutout. So if you have a paper, and you want to do a cutout, all you have to do is hover it over and boop. Isn't that cool? And if you have like a sparkly paper, you can cut out a whole bunch of them and put them as confetti in a Pen Friends letter. There's another stamp, decorative stamp, really nice. Ooh, something really cool. If you have a pen friend that is into like traveling. How do I open this thing? Oh yeah. You could get them a miniature tape. Why is this gross? I don't even know. It's been sitting in this box, so it's probably been moved around and stuff. Gross. Anyway, so you can get them a mini tape. It's so little. Might be something nice to have. What else do I have in this thing? You can also get them a nose lavage tool to wash out their pens. What the hell is that? Probably ink. Anyway, you get them a booger squirter, a booger syringe. Okay, that's all I got for that toolbox. Okay, and then last but not least, you could get them a little crab to hold up their pen. Isn't that cute? Little crab to hold up your pen. He's got a little schmunz on his nose, don't notice. But yeah, just look up crab, pen holder, crab. Okay, well, that is all that I have got for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe. Ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you. I have to go to the pharmacy to get some pills. So, get out there and enjoy your life. Be with the people you love. Tell them you love them. And I love you to pieces. Have a great day. Okay, bye.